Short answer, no. I don't think the video game industry is going to die anytime soon. But god damn it, dude, like some of the AAA developers are making it really hard to believe that. And I shouldn't even say developers, because it's like mostly the publisher's fault. Okay, back it up a little bit. For those of you who are living under a rock, like me, Microsoft, Sony, and even Nintendo have all gotten into, let's say, some hot water recently over some dumbass decisions they've been making. And this is all like independently of each other, and they're all completely separate problems. Microsoft just shut down a few developers that they had under their umbrella that made some of the best games they had ever published up until that point. Sony had a bit of a kerfuffle with the Helldivers community, and now apparently the Ghosts of Tsushima port on PC is gonna be going through the same thing. We'll see. And Nintendo is just doing Nintendo things. So with all of this like terrible news coming out about the three big players in the AAA game space, you know, one might come away from all this thinking that, oh, this industry is cooked, you know, people aren't gonna be buying games anymore, there's gonna be a second video game crash like 1983. Now, I'll admit I am a bit of a cynical person, and seeing this kind of news would obviously lead me toward a more cynical outlook on how everything is going. The sad part is, I can't really blame anybody for having this kind of an opinion. Because yeah, AAA gaming, like, really fucking sucks right now. You know, all the microtransactions and the season passes and the loot boxes from a few years ago, and the pre-orders and the shipping unfinished games and whatever the fuck Microsoft is doing. But don't get it twisted, this shit's been happening for a long time. You know, I personally attribute all this shit to the pandemic a few years ago, you know, where the video game industry saw an unbelievable amount of growth in the span of a year. I've heard some people describe this phenomenon as a bubble bursting, but I am no economist, so I am not going to, like, say I know what's going on one way or the other. As someone who's into technology and video games and stuff like that, my brain is usually focused on, okay, there's a problem, how do we fix it? How do we solve this problem? How do we make things better? But unfortunately, the reality is that we as consumers cannot solve this problem. This is a deeply rooted problem in the systems of our society, something I'm not going to claim to be an expert on, but I think it's important to take a step back and take a look at what's immediately actionable for an individual. What does that mean? It means what can you change by yourself rather than just wait for society to change for you. You know, the whole, oh shit, I knocked over a bottle. You know, the whole vote with your wallet thing. You know, it's not a perfect solution, but I think if we dig a little bit deeper and actually put some thought into this, I feel like we can come away from this news in a more positive light. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I have the perfect answer to everything, but I think if I share my own outlook on this, maybe some of you can take from that and do what you will with it, who knows. And the thing is, my outlook on all this stuff is actually really simple. Play indie games. Beyond just playing indie games though, how many games have been released over the past, what, 30 years the industry has existed? 40 years nearly? You know, are you really gonna sit here and complain that you're missing out on the Ghosts of Tsushima PC port when you haven't even played fucking Mario Sunshine yet? Like, instead of complaining about the pricing of the latest skin in League of Legends or Valorant or Fortnite, why don't you go and play some fucking Balatro? And don't get me wrong, Hi-Fi Rush is a phenomenal game, and it's really sad to see the original developers get dissolved like they did. But let me introduce you to a little game called Crumble. Like I said, there are so many games that have come out in the past 40 years that you're bound to have missed some bangers, dude. Like, speaking from experience, I've never played any of the Sony exclusives. So, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Parappa the Rappa, Sly Cooper, Medieval, Infamous, I played Demon's Souls for a little bit there, 3D Dot Game Hero. Like, there are so many games that I just completely missed out on because I never had a PlayStation growing up. So thanks to the power of emulation, I can go back and I can play some of these phenomenal games that I just missed. And if you're not some fucking corporate bootlicker, you can play all of these games for free. So you've got all these classics that are waiting for you to play, but on top of that, you also got a shit ton of indie games that are waiting to be played. I'll post a link to a phenomenal Twitter thread, I'm still not calling it X, showing off a ton of indie games that recently came out that really deserve our support at this time. I'm also going to include a link to the Kickstarter for the developer of Crumble's new game. What was it called again? Hold on, let me see if I can find this. Paper Sky, it's called Paper Sky. Dude, Crumble is genuinely one of my favorite games, like, period right now. And this sequel looks to be like a fucking banger. So put your money where your mouth is. Go support this dev on Kickstarter. It's one dude making phenomenal game. Well, a phenomenal game, but I don't see a reason why this game would be any different. Now that I think about it, this game might be better than Crumble, so some support would be nice. And if you'll allow me to be a little bit cringe for a moment, that is why I'm having such a great time with Linux. Because, you know, Microsoft can't really be trusted with anything, especially our data. I don't think it's any secret that Microsoft fucking sucks. So why do we keep using their operating system? Just saying. Anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to say. This is a really short slapdash video. I know the background doesn't look any good or anything, and I know the lighting sucks, but dude, like, I tried to put this video together in like 10 minutes. I've been recording for about 20. So I'm not here to like blow anybody away with my fucking production value or anything. I just wanted to say my thoughts on this big, like, past week or so of gaming news. Because, you know, we definitely do need more support for indie games, and also play some of the classics, please. There's a lot of really great games out there. I think at the current state of the industry, if you really want to enjoy this art form, you need to be a little bit more savvy, but I guess that's kind of the case with any media at this point in time. You know, movies and music are definitely like that for me, from personal experience. Content creation is a big one. You gotta be a little bit savvy on like who's good, but like content creation has always been kind of tumultuous, but you know, whatever. Like, I feel like you gotta be willing to look a little bit deeper than what is spoon-fed to you by, like, the trillion-dollar advertising budgets. And if you happen to fall for those advertising budgets, well, you know, I guess you just don't give a shit in the slightest. But if you don't give a shit, then you wouldn't be watching this video, so I'm just saying. Look, if you're watching this video right now, you owe it to yourself to play every game that I just mentioned, as well as do a little bit of fucking research and, like, seriously go through this Twitter thread. Like, there are some bangers in here, or at least it looks like bangers in here. I haven't played all of them yet. Keyword yet. I know for a fact I'm gonna be checking out Animal Well sometime soon, so, you know. Exciting times ahead for indie games. But for AAA games, ain't really much to get excited for anymore, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and thank you to the YouTube lads who give me money directly. If you want to support me, go do that, and yeah, bye.